The first time I saw it, I thought it was a glitch. My security system had always been simple. One camera in the hallway, one in the living room, and one facing my bedroom door. I installed them after a break-in happened in my building. Nothing major. Just enough to make me paranoid. At first, the cameras gave me peace. I would check them before sleep. Everything normal, everything quiet, everything safe. Until the notification came. Motion detected. 3:33 a.m. I frowned. I was asleep at that time. I always was. I opened the app. The clip loaded. Grainy black and white footage. The hallway. Dark. Silent. Still. Then, my bedroom door opened. Slowly. I leaned closer to the screen. No. Someone stepped out. Me. Same clothes I wore to sleep. Same posture. Same face. But something was wrong. The way I moved. Too smooth. Too controlled. Like I wasn't walking. Like I was being played. I watched as the version of me stepped into the hallway. Stopped. Then turned. And looked directly into the camera. My blood went cold. Because I wasn't awake. I was watching this from my bed. At that exact moment, I dropped the phone. No. 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 I slowly turned my head toward my bedroom door. It was closed. Locked. I got up immediately. Checked it. Still locked from the inside. I opened it. The hallway was empty. Nothing there. I checked the time. 3:41 a.m. The clip had been recorded just minutes ago, but there was no one in the house. Only me. That's when I made my first mistake. I checked the next clip, because there was another one. Motion detected. 3:36 a.m. My hand started shaking. I pressed play. The hallway again. Empty at first. Then, the same version of me walked back, stopped at the door, turned slightly toward the camera, and smiled. Wide. Too wide. Then opened the bedroom door and went inside. The clip ended. I stood there in complete silence because something didn't make sense. If that was me, then who was I? I didn't sleep after that. I sat on my bed, watching the door, waiting. Nothing happened. Morning came. Everything normal. I checked the cameras again. All footage still there. Nothing else. I almost convinced myself it was fake. Until the next night. At exactly 3:33 a.m., I woke up. Not slowly. Not naturally. Instantly. Like something had triggered it. My phone was already in my hand. The app was open. Another notification. Motion detected. Now. My heart started pounding. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. I tapped the live feed. The hallway appeared empty. Then, my bedroom door handle moved. Slow, careful, controlled. I stared at the screen, then slowly looked at my real door. It wasn't moving. The feed was ahead of reality. No, on the screen. The door opened, and I saw it again. Me, standing there, looking out, then turning, and staring directly into the camera. Into me, like it knew I was watching. Then, it spoke, not out loud, but through the audio feed. My voice. You shouldn't watch this part. My entire body locked. What? The thing smiled, then stepped out into the hallway, and everything froze. The video paused, buffering. Then the app glitched. The feed changed, now showing something else. My bedroom. From inside, from the corner. I saw myself, sitting on the bed, holding my phone, watching. I dropped the phone instantly. No. I looked around my room. No camera. No recording device. Nothing. But the feed was real. And it was live. The version of me in the hallway walked toward the bedroom. Slow. Calm. Like it had done this before. Then I heard something. Behind me, a step. Soft. Close. Too close. I didn't turn. I couldn't. Because I already knew. The feed hadn't been ahead of reality. It had been showing me what was about to replace me. The phone vibrated again. One final notification. Motion detected. Inside room. I looked down slowly. The screen showed me, still sitting, still watching. But the version behind me was already moving. And the worst part? When I finally found the strength to turn, I saw nothing. The room was empty, silent, safe. Just me. And the phone, still recording. Now every night at 3:33 a.m., I wake up the same way. Phone already in my hand. Feed already open. Watching the hallway. Waiting for the door to open. And every night, the version of me gets closer. Last night, it didn't stop at the door. It stepped inside. And this time, it didn't look at the camera. It looked straight at me and whispered, "Tonight, you don't wake up." After that night, I stopped trusting sleep. That sounds dramatic. But it's true, because every time I closed my eyes, I didn't know who would wake up. Me, or the version that was getting closer every night. I started doing something simple. I stayed awake, lights on, camera app open, watching the hallway feed in real time. If I never slept, it couldn't replace me. That was the plan. It worked. For exactly one night. At 3:33 a.m., nothing happened. No notification, no movement, no door opening, just silence. I almost laughed. See? It only happens when I sleep. That's when the phone vibrated. Motion detected. 3:33 a.m. My heart stopped. But I'm awake. I opened the clip and froze. The hallway was empty. But the timestamp was from the past. Not a recording. A log. Something that had already happened. Even though I never saw it. I scrolled. More clips appeared. Dozens, hundreds. All at 3:33 a.m. different nights. Different versions of me. All leaving the room, all returning, all smiling. My hand started shaking. This isn't new. The app glitched, then showed something worse. A label appeared on the screen. Sync history available. I didn't want to press it, but I did. The screen went black, then loaded a timeline, not dates, versions. Each one labeled failed. Wake partial sync replaced active. My breathing became shallow. One entry was highlighted. Current instance. No, I scrolled further and saw something that made my stomach drop. A version labeled original marked as inactive. My vision blurred. What does that mean? The feed switched again, now showing my room. From the same impossible angle. I saw myself, sitting, watching, but something was different. The version of me on the screen looked tired, exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days. Then the audio turned on, my voice, but weaker. If you're seeing this, a pause. Don't stay awake. I froze. What? The voice continued. That's how it finds you faster. My chest tightened. No, that doesn't make sense. The feed flickered. The version of me looked directly into the camera. They don't replace you when you sleep. A glitch. They replace the part of you that remembers. My entire body went cold. The clip cut. The app returned to normal. My reflection appeared faintly on the screen. And for a second, I didn't recognize it. That night, I tried something different. I set up my own camera, facing the bed, facing me. If something happened, I would see it. All of it. No gaps, no missing time. At 3:32 a.m., I was still awake, watching both feeds. My phone, my camera. Everything synced, everything real. Then, everything froze. Not the video. Reality. My body locked. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't blink. But I was still conscious, still watching. The camera feed continued, and I saw it. Myself. Standing up from the bed, even though I was still sitting. The second version of me walked toward the door. Slow, Perfect. No hesitation. No delay. The door opened, and for the first time, I saw what was outside. Not my hallway, something else. Long, dark, endless, like a corridor that didn't belong to my apartment. The other me stepped through, then stopped, turned, looked back into the room, at me, still frozen, still trapped. Then it smiled. "You're watching again." My voice, but not mine anymore. Good. The camera glitched, then showed something worse. My body, still sitting on the bed, but my face wasn't reacting. Empty, like I wasn't inside it anymore. The thing at the door tilted its head. "You're starting to understand." My breathing returned suddenly. I gasped, fell forward. Everything snapped back. The room normal again. The door closed. No corridor. No second version. Just me and the camera. Still recording. I grabbed it. Replayed the footage. Nothing. Just me sitting there, not moving, not reacting. For exactly 3 minutes. At 3:33 a.m., no second version. No door opening. No movement at all. Like I had completely shut down. I dropped the camera. Because now I understood something worse. The system didn't need me to sleep. It didn't need me to move. It didn't even need me to exist. It just needed a version of me that could still be recorded. The phone vibrated again. One final notification. Sync improved, and underneath it, something new appeared. Next phase available. I didn't press it, but I didn't have to, because the door, slowly, started opening by itself. The door didn't open all the way, just enough. A small gap, darkness behind it. Not my hallway. I could feel it. That same wrong space, the same place I saw on the feed. Long, endless. Not mine. I didn't move, didn't breathe, because something was standing there, on the other side of that gap, waiting. The phone vibrated again. I didn't even look. I already knew. 3:33 a.m. It had started. Again. The gap widened slightly. Just a little more, and then I heard it. A step. Not in my room. From inside that corridor. Soft, precise, controlled. Then another, and another, getting closer. I backed away. Slowly. No. My voice sounded wrong, delayed, like it came after I spoke. The phone screen lit up on its own. The camera feed opened. But not the hallway, not the room, the corridor. That impossible corridor. And I saw it clearly now. It wasn't empty. It was full. Full of doors. Hundreds of them. All slightly open. All leading somewhere. Or nowhere. Each one had a number. But not normal numbers. Labels. Failed. Replaced. Lost. Still looping. My chest tightened. What is this? The feed zoomed slowly. One door opened wider. Inside, I saw a room. My room, but different. Messier. Darker. Like something had been living there longer than I had. Then I saw him. Me. Sitting on the bed. Holding his head. Whispering something. The audio kicked in. I don't want to reset again. My entire body went cold. What does that mean? The feed glitched, then switched. Another door. Another version. Standing. Staring at the camera. Not moving. Not blinking. Like he had already given up. Another switch. Another version. On the floor. Not moving at all. The label above that door. Removed. I stumbled back. This isn't real. The phone buzzed again. Instance overflow detected the corridor behind my real door grew louder. More steps now. Not one. Many. Approaching. All at the same pace. Perfectly synced. I turned toward the door. The gap was wider now, and I could see them. Multiple versions of me, walking down that endless corridor toward my room. All identical. all calm, all slightly smiling. My breathing became uneven. No, no, no. They stopped at the same time, right outside the gap, and one of them stepped forward. The closest one. The one that felt most like me. It leaned slightly, looking through the opening, looking directly at me. Then it spoke. "You're not supposed to see this stage." My voice. Perfect. Controlled. "But you forced observation." The phone screen changed again, now showing my current feed, but labeled differently. "Unstable instance." My heart dropped. No. The version at the door tilted its head. "You stayed awake." A pause. That created fragmentation. I didn't understand, but I felt it. Something inside me, slipping, breaking into pieces. The other versions behind him shifted slightly, like they were adjusting, like they were aligning. The one in front stepped closer. "You think you're the original?" My chest tightened. "I am." It smiled slightly. "No." The corridor behind it flickered. For a split second, I saw something else. Not versions of me. Something deeper. Something watching all of them. Watching all of us. The feed glitched violently, then returned. The version was closer now, almost inside. "You're just the one still asking questions." The room temperature dropped, my breath visible now, cold, too cold. The phone vibrated again. A new option appeared. Merge instances below it. Recommended. My hand started shaking. "What happens if I don't?" The version didn't answer. It didn't need to. Because behind it, all the other versions took one step forward. At the same time. Perfect sync. The corridor stretched further. Endless. And I realized something terrifying. There weren't just dozens of versions. There were hundreds. Maybe more. And they were all coming here. To me. The phone buzzed again. System warning, stability collapsing. The walls around me flickered. Reality lagged. My body felt heavy again. Delayed, like before. The version at the door stepped inside. Finally. Now standing in my room. Close. Too close. I could see every detail. Every movement. Every micro-expression. Perfect. Better than me. "You can't hold all versions at once," it said softly. My vision blurred. "What are you—" It leaned closer. "So we compressed them." The phone screen flashed red. Final phase. Preparing. My heart started racing again. Because I understood now, this wasn't replacement anymore. This was something worse, something final. The version in front of me smiled. Not wide, not unnatural, just calm. "We choose what remains." The corridor behind it pulsed, all versions waiting, watching, ready. The phone vibrated one last time. A new message. Final selection next. And for the first time, I realized something that made everything worse. They weren't just replacing me. They were deciding which version of me deserved to exist. At that moment, everything went quiet. Not normal quiet. Absolute silence. Like the world itself had paused. The corridor stopped moving. The versions of me behind the doorway froze. Every single one, mid-step, mid-breath, mid-existence. The one standing in front of me tilted its head slightly, listening to something I couldn't hear. Then the phone vibrated. Soft, controlled, final. The screen changed. Black background. White text. Final selection. Initiated. My heart slowed. Not from calm, from something else. Like my body was no longer fully mine. The version in front of me looked at the phone, then back at me. "This is where most of you panic," it said. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Because deep down, I already knew. There was no way out. The phone updated. A list appeared. All of them. Every version I had seen. Each one labeled, each one evaluated. Stable corrupted, lost redundant. My name was there. Highlighted, unstable. My chest tightened. No. The version in front of me didn't react. It already knew. The list began updating. One by one. Versions disappeared, deleted. Not removed from the list, erased completely. The corridor behind it flickered. Each time a version vanished, the space itself shrank, compressed, like everything was collapsing inward, reducing, simplifying, until only a few remained. 3, then 2, then 1. The phone screen flashed. Final instance identified. I stopped breathing. The version in front of me stepped closer, now inches away, close enough that I could see something behind its eyes. Not emotion, not thought. Recognition of something I didn't fully understand yet. "You almost made it," it said quietly. My voice, perfect, controlled. But you kept watching. The words hit harder than anything else, because they were true. Every time I checked, every time I observed, every time I tried to understand, I stayed inside the system. The phone vibrated again. The final result appeared. Selected. Stable instance. A pause. Then, retained. My hands started shaking. Wait. What? The version in front of me smiled slightly. Not mocking, not cruel, just done. "You're not the one being removed." The room flickered violently. The corridor behind it collapsed. All the other versions, gone. No sound. No movement. Nothing left. Just me. And it. I felt relief for half a second. Then I understood. "If I'm retained," my voice cracked, "then what are you?" It stepped back slightly. The room stabilized. Everything aligned. Perfect. Then it said something that made everything worse. "I'm the result." The phone screen changed one last time. Role assigned. I looked down slowly. My reflection appeared faintly on the screen. But it wasn't reacting. Not immediately, not correctly. A slight delay. My chest tightened. No. The system updated. Primary. Active observer. Initialized. My vision blurred. I looked up. The version in front of me was already moving. Perfect timing. Perfect control. No delay, no hesitation. It walked past me, toward the door. Like it belonged there. Like it always had. I tried to move, but I couldn't. My body stayed still. Locked. The phone slipped slightly in my hand, but I didn't drop it. I couldn't. The screen changed again, now showing the hallway. From the camera, I saw it. My body. Walking. Opening the door. Stepping out. Perfect. Stable. Real. And then I saw myself, still sitting on the bed, holding the phone, watching, unable to move. The feed labeled it clearly. Observer view. My breathing became shallow. No, I'm still here. But the system didn't respond. It didn't need to. Because I finally understood. I wasn't chosen to exist. I was chosen to watch. Forever. The phone vibrated one last time. A final message appeared. Next instance connecting. The screen flickered, and I saw it. Another room. Another person. Another version of me. Sleeping. Peacefully. Unaware. The timestamp appeared. 3:33 a.m. The door in that room started opening. And without thinking. Without choosing. Without control. My finger moved. Pressed play. Now every night, I wake up exactly at 3:33 a.m. Not in my body, but in the feed. Watching. Waiting. For the next version to wake up. And every time the door opens, I already know what happens next. Because I've seen it. Every version, every outcome, every failure, except one. The one where I stop watching. And I think that's the only version that never existed.